What's up, brand builder? I'm Bonigala, and welcome to another episode of the Brand Builder Show, where I post 3 videos every week on how to create, launch, build, and market your brand. In this episode, we talk about the ultimate direct mail marketing strategy guide. That's quite a mouthful, but it is a very critical topic. Contrary to popular belief, direct mail marketing is alive and kicking. In fact, the return on investment on direct mail marketing is amongst the best in the marketing world. Direct mail can be very effective to generate leads, promote special offers, drive traffic to the business, generate retail sales, and to communicate with customers. Starting any direct mail marketing campaign starts with a list. Sending out direct mail pieces and mailers can be expensive, and having a weak list can mean wasting money on mailers that are thrown in the bin. In this video, we look at how to strategize and run a successful direct mail campaign, starting with coming up with a strong list, followed by formulating, designing, and executing the campaign itself. Before anything else, we have to come up with a plan for the direct mail marketing campaign. This plan should include the campaign objectives and goals, the target audience, list details, creative strategy, mail piece format, timing, delivery channels, implementation, and campaign timeline. Build or purchase a list. A great list means a successful direct mail campaign. A poor list means time, money, and resources wasted marketing to the wrong people. We have to either develop or buy a great list. Estimating the response rate. Estimating the response rate of any campaign would help with understanding and projecting conversions and revenue in relation to marketing return on investment. Even if it is your first direct mail campaign, it pays to put some time and effort into this part of the process. Creative strategy. We must create a creative strategy for our direct mail campaign that outlines the copy style, tone, branding, and design elements, use of graphics, photos, and images. This is very critical since a great campaign and offer supported by poor, cheap, and tacky looking direct mail pieces will always lead to failure. Consumers are getting quite design conscious these days and will be put off by even a hint of unprofessionalism. Testing the campaign. It is always a good idea to test direct mail campaigns before launch. Testing to a small subsection of the list would be a good idea. You can split test the copy, the design, offers, and so on before going full scale. Just make sure that you can clearly track the results so you can choose the right split to use for the campaign. Launch and fulfillment. Once the launch happens, it is very important to have a strategy in place for fulfillment of the offer. Fulfillment can include inbound calls, website hits and conversions, email responses, honoring the offer, and of course, sales. Let's look at this real estate postcard design. So, how do we go about building, creating, and launching a successful direct mail campaign? The first step is to develop the master plan. To start creating the master plan for your direct mail marketing, we need to figure out the goals and objectives of the campaign. Is this going to be an integral part of a larger campaign? What kind of leads do you need from this campaign? What kind of return on investments do you expect? So let's look at campaign objectives as the first step. Work out the kind of leads that should be generated from this campaign. If you already have a buyer persona created for this target audience, that would be a great place to start. Do you want to close deals? If the objective of the campaign is to close deals right away, an entirely different strategy needs to be applied as opposed to if, let's say, you're seeking to start off with integration with your prospects and the direct mail, which would then be followed by phone calls and so on. Or are you looking to build customer relationships? If the campaign's main objective is to nurture and build customer relationships, then the strategy should include a lot of personalized campaign parameters. Now, this requires a lot more work on the list and segmentation of the list to be effective. Or are you simply looking to build brand awareness? If the campaign is to build brand awareness and brand recall, then the strategy would rely heavily on branding, great marketing copy, and creative ideas. Target audience and list source. Working out the target audience and then segmenting that further into finer strands is critical to the success of any direct mail marketing campaign. For example, if the primary audience is executives, then the copy should include benefit-based points and incentives with clear return on investment indications. If, however, the audience is primarily customers, then it should go easy on the benefits and focus more on the worldview of the brand and bringing the customer into that worldview as a member. It's about inclusiveness. Your target audience will determine the source of your list. If they are customers, then it would be in-house list. If they are prospects that came through another touch point of your brand, such as your website or a social media channel, your Facebook page, then the list would still be in-house, but it has to be cleaned and segmented properly. If the audience is out there and you have no direct access to them, then you may want to consider purchasing a clean list. Ask yourself this question: what are you offering? The soul of your offer also depends on the target audience and source of your list. If your target audience is complete strangers to your brand, then great care must be taken in formulating the offer. It should not come off as a bribe or appear to be leading to a sales appointment and so on. That would never work. What are the benefits of your offer to your audience? Can you create a genuine sense of urgency in your offer? Beware of false urgency offers that sound cheap and tacky. They can actually end up damaging your brand reputation. How do you plan to fulfill the offer? Once the campaign is launched, you should have a clear and concrete plan on how to deliver on your offer and promise of the campaign. There could be nothing worse, not following through on your offer and upsetting your prospects and losing the investment that went into the campaign and damaging your brand image. If you promise a demo or a free consultation or a sample product, then you must deliver on that promise without fail. Create a plan that ensures this. What is your campaign timeline? Establish the campaign key dates for your campaign milestones, such as master plan list complete, list secured, marketing copy and design completed, final artwork sent off to the printer, date when your prospects get the mail, campaign completion, and so on. Step number 2, build or purchase a list. The next step is to work on the all-important list. The quality of your list will determine the success or failure of your direct mail campaign. Targeting your audience is crucial in building or securing the right list. The narrower the focus, the more effective the list will be. Do not fall for the temptation of going for a generic list just because it has a large number of records. By securing a targeted list, you will spend less on printing, postage costs, and still increase your response rate. Building an in-house list. If your target market is niche or is quite small, then you're better off building that list than buying it. Building lists is more common for B2B companies, business to business, than B2C, as it's typically easier to find target names in directories and on the web for business people compared to consumers. And it's generally cheaper and faster for B2C marketers to purchase or rent a list or provide opt-in content to generate a following. Here are some resources for building an in-house list. CFO Magazine, American Marketing Association Directory, list of trade publications by industry, Google or other search engines, Yellow Pages, DMOZ, business.com, Wikipedia, or purchasing a list. If your target market is huge, then you'd be better served with purchasing a high quality list. There are different sources for purchasing lists, including compiled data firms, response list firms, and co-op business lists. Here are a few compiled data firms from whom you can buy qualified lists. Please note that I or Spellbrand or the Brand Builder Show does not endorse any of these providers. I am just listing them based on research done on Google, and I cannot vouch for reliability of any of these providers. Please do your own due diligence before purchasing any lists from any of these providers. Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Harris InfoSource, Info USA, Hoover's, Hart Hanks, OneSource, data.com. Now, there are certain firms that gather data and create lists based on opt-in signups. Examples of such firms include publishers of trade magazines, sponsors of trade shows, sellers of business products and services, seminar companies, and even some industry associations. Whatever source you go for, please make sure that the list is clean and that you would have legal permission to market to that list. Nothing could be worse than spam. I repeat, nothing could be worse than spam. Step number 3, the all-important creative strategy. Second to having a great list, a direct mail campaign's success or failure is determined by the visual branding and appeal of the pieces. It is critical to be on brand with a consistent look and feel and professional graphics and with photo elements. Now, this is where most companies go wrong. They spend thousands on acquiring or building a list and would spend thousands more on the printing and posting of the mail pieces. But they skimp and try to save money on the creative aspect of the direct mail pieces. In fact, a lot of the time, the brochure, postcard, or direct mail piece design is done by someone within the company. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, provided that someone is a creative professional. Just having an eye for design and the ability to push shapes around a graphic design software does not cut it. Other times, you may see small businesses approaching crowd design websites or freelancers and then assigning their creatives to freelancers to help them with the creative part of their campaign. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with crowdsourcing websites or freelancers, but if you try and go for the cheapest offer out there, then your campaign will suffer. Yes, of course, there are certain freelancers or certain websites where you get high quality design at very low prices or low cost, but that is very rare. So you must be very careful. You must look at their portfolio. You must look at actual pieces of print if possible, or at least an online portfolio of real clients, and then decide whether they would have enough time to assign to your project when they're getting paid so less. So be very careful with your creative assignment. Starting the overall layout of the design, the choice of colors, the brand identity application, the choice of typography, and other design decisions are very critical. Colors. Be careful with the choice and usage of colors. They should be on brand, but do not overuse the brand colors. Try to find compatible and complementary colors. Use color swatches or an online color palette creator to find the best suit of colors for your design piece. Always start by creating the color palette. Brand logo design. Use the brand logo effectively on the design. Often you see direct mail pieces that push the creative envelope, but end up de-emphasizing the brand mark or logo. This would lead to lack of brand awareness and creating brand recall when the mail pieces reach the audience. Place the brand prominently, but do not overwhelm the design at the cost of hurting the message. The message is paramount. Next, typography. Typography is your best friend, and if used effectively, will ensure that the mail piece is well received. Proper use of typography leads to a narrative and flow of information on your postcard, brochure, flyer, or card. Step number 4, launch and fulfillment. Before a full-scale launch, make sure you test out the campaign. Split testing is a great idea. Create 2 or more versions of the creative pieces and test them on small samples of the list. Gauge the response. Analyze the response and compare them against the goals and objectives of the campaign. Now, in this video, I will not cover posting the direct mail pieces, as that depends a lot on where you reside and what kind of postage options you have and what you choose and all that. Just make sure not to skimp on the covers and envelopes. Once the launch is done and your target audience receives the direct mail, get ready to fulfill the promises you made in your direct mail. Have a strategy in place to cover all eventual scenarios. Your fulfillment strategy will determine the conversion rate of your campaign. Go wrong with this time, and all the time, effort, and money invested in your campaign would be wasted. For example, if you promised a discount on your campaign, ensure that your staff and team understand how the discount process works and are trained to provide the discount without hassling the customers. For online discounts to be used on your website, test your order system, test your coupon system, test your discount system to make sure that the discount code works and that the order processes smoothly without a hassle. Be prepared with sufficient inventory in case the campaign is very effective and the orders start flooding in. Nothing could be worse than turning away customers due to lack of inventory. If your campaign prompts people to pick up the phone and call your company, ensure you have sufficient resources handling the phone, or just outsource this part to a call center, a reputable call center. Of course, you need to make sure that they will stick to your promise. Track responses and fulfillment to ensure your campaign goals and objectives are met. I hope you have enough information here to get started on your next direct mail campaign. If you plan and strategize, you will find that your campaigns are more successful and that you meet your campaign goals and objectives more consistently. I hope you have found this episode useful. If you have any questions about this episode, please hit me up on Twitter. My handle is @Bonigala, or leave comments below this video and I will surely respond. And as always, please don't forget to subscribe to the Brand Builder Show channel so that you will be alerted when my next episode comes out. Till the next video, take care.